It's man versus machine, as we use GolfSwings.ai to outcoach the coach.
So, the challenge, you're going to look at an amateur golfer's swing, my swing. You're going to come up with the top 5 recommendations that you would implement to improve my golf.
Right, only 5?
Only 5. Oh, that's to settle down. And GolfSwings.ai is going to do the same thing, come up with its 5 recommendations. You're not allowed to look at the GolfSwings.ai output.
Right.
And then we're going to compare the two. There's a point system though.
Okay.
So if you are able to identify any of the top 5 recommendations from GolfSwings.ai,
Yes.
you get 20 points for each one.
So max 100.
That's good math. Well done, sir.
Yeah.
You've started on a good note.
Up and about.
If you identify something where I'm outside of the optimal range, so it's not really helping my golf, it's hurting,
Yes.
but it's not in the top 5, you still get 10 points.
Okay, so it's an issue, but it's not like a primary one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly right. But you can lose points as well. If you pick something that you think is a swing issue,
Yeah.
but I'm inside the optimal range, you lose 15 points.
So I can negative 75 I can land on.
That's the worst you could do. If you do that, you're not a world famous golf coach.
So break even, so 0 and above is a win.
No,
Well, what's a win?
a 60. You have to get 60 or above. There's more to this,
All right,
mate.
well,
There's more to
Well,
this.
there's more.
If you don't get 60 points, you have to do a full day's teaching of students wearing this hat.
It's a hat.
It's a hat.
What was a bin like?
It's a snail hat. They're very hard to find, a snail hat.
What's a snow hat?
Well, a friend of mine wore it to a Halloween party. He came as the snail and someone else came as the whale.
What's snail alarm?
Well, no one really knew, so that it didn't really work.
That's hot.
Well, my dog chewed it this morning, so I'll probably get one of the issues. So,
I'm not wearing that.
no, we'll get more than 60 points, so you're right.
All right, flash it, switch on.
So let's start the challenge. So you're going to look through my swing,
Okay.
and you're going to identify 5 points. I'm going to give you some time to look through it. Now, you know it pretty well because you've coached me a bit.
I've seen you hit a ball a few thousand times.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting this particular swing because you've been playing better.
I've been playing better. I'm down to a 5 handicapper, so let's see how we go.
So let's zoom in here. Let's
I'm not 5, I'm 7. Everyone lies about their handicap.
go to Joe Biden. Okay, hang on, I've got to switch on here. There's some issues in the backswing with the left side now.
Are you locking one in now?
No, hang on. I just got to look at the swing. Geez, you've got an impact though. That's lovely. Follow through. The leg work looks a bit rough. Okay, I'm going to start locking in some stuff. Okay, front on. I want to lock in stage 2, so that's when your arms are at the parallel. Your hip tilt looks like hip tilt. So hip tilt stage 6. It looks like it's.
So you're saying my lead hip is too low relative to my trail hip.
Hold on. Like that down.
Is that a dreaded reverse pivot?
Starting to be.
Okay. All right. So like tilt from front on at halfway back.
Yeah, and I'm going to stop it right there at the top. So
Perfect. It's perfect.
it's decent, but it's far from perfect. Your lead arm, 2 bent, and you're starting to stack
So
your plates.
I've lost some width.
So I'm going to go lead arm bend at the top
Top of swing, lead on from front on.
I will not enjoy that one bit. Okay, I'm going to keep looking. I might switch angles here. I'm just going to bring up the down the line angle
Okay.
because I don't look.
You won't find anything in that.
Well, I'm not liking the look of your leg work through the pill.
You should see it on the dance floor, mate. It's even worse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this.
What's wrong with that?
The legs are going past your toes. I'm going with what's that? Trail shin at stage 6 in the follow through.
Follow through. So you're saying my knee is too bent and
Well, your knee, yeah.
how much shin angle is?
Shin is
Okay.
too far forward. So
trail shin, follow through from down the
for
line.
those playing along at home, why visually do I not like to look at that? Because as soon as the legs go under the body starts to stand up, the pelvis will come in. So I'm going to actually stop here again and pick another one. What am I
Okay.
up to?
You've done 3. So
Go 4. This will be 4. I'm going to go with forward bend, your forward tilt over the ball. You look too vertical there to me.
I do look a bit vertical. It looks like I've stood up a bit.
Well,
not
you can't
scaled
help
shot.
it because the pelvis, you probably haven't stood up that much, but your pelvis has come in, so your spine has changed a fair bit.
Okay. So forward tilt in the follow through, which is stage 6. Not enough bend.
No, and I'm going to go back around
So
here.
4 is locked.
Yeah, I'm going to go one more, and I reckon it's just I don't like the look of this top of this swing now. I'm going to go one more here because the hip gets low and you start to get your weight to the front side, you have got too much straight spine angle. So I'm going to go with stage 3, top of swing, spine angle being too vertical.
So I'm not tilting away from the ball. All right, well, let's lock that one in. So let's just summarize them quickly. So the first one is hip tilt.
At stage 2, so yeah, back here. Yeah, okay. Oops, well, that's the other number do. There we go. Yeah, okay.
Hip tilt, stage 2.
Yep.
Lead arm bend at the top of the swing.
Here, yep.
Yep. If you stay on that angle at the top of the swing, my spine angle, I'm not good enough.
Number 5, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's number 5.
Beautiful.
If you flick around to the other angle,
here we go.
we're looking at follow through position. There's 2 things there that you don't like. The first one being my shin angle pointing too far towards the ball.
Yeah.
And my forward tilt not bending over enough.
Correct. Wait, I'll have it locked in.
Are you locking those in? We're all done and dusted. No more bets, sir.
I'm a bit nervous, actually. That was it. I'm still getting itches.
If you're playing along at home and you're liking this content, please hit the like button. But also, if you can think of things in my swing that look bad, be kind, but put them in the comments.
You're out there, you're limited to 5 things too. We don't want to diatribe. Make names.
You're limited to 3 if you're playing at home. All right. So the first one that you can drive this.
Okay.
The first one that you said is hip tilt from halfway back.
Hip tilt is number 2. You're guilty.
That's a disaster. That's a disaster.
Right. Well, I'm pumped about that. Number 2. So what does it say you are? It says you are 6.7 degrees and you're supposed to be between 0 and 4 and the little ball thing down the bottom.
Yeah.
Like this.
So the ball is not in the optimal range.
Not in the green
zone.
The green zone.
And you can see the pro there on the left is David Duval.
Is it?
Yes. And he has the best hip turn that we've measured at that point.
Yeah, right. Real nice. And it doesn't matter if it's, as I said, if it's not perfectly level. Anyway, we can get into that on another video.
So 20 points.
So on the third one.
All right. So the next movement.
Yes.
Now I know it's not in the top 5 because I just saw the top 5.
Hang on. What?
So it's lead arm bend at the top of the swing from face on.
How fast are you reading top 5?
I don't think there's any doubt on this one, is there? You don't even have to hold your breath. It looked horrendous.
But I can't believe it's not in your top 5. I'm a bit shattered because I thought that was one of me stalls. So you are out of it by 25 odd degrees at the low end. So you're 115 degrees, supposed to be 140.
I've got a big bend in my arm, haven't I?
Well, you have, and you can see there against, who's that, Billy Horsham?
That's Billy Horsham, playing some good golf at the moment.
I'll actually go back out here, just to quickly go over this because it will take 2 seconds. From front on, I mean, once you start to look at that number there, and you know, we said 140 or so is the low end, you can see if you just, you know, structured up that arm a little bit, it's not as bent as that early on. Yeah. Tremendous. So it's really just that stage. Anyway, that's more fixes. We'll get into that later. But
okay.
So what do I get there?
10 points. 10 points. So you're sitting on 30 points after 2. So the next one is trail shin angle from down the line into follow through.
That's not in top 5 either.
Not in the top 5. So you can still get 10 points or lose 15 points. Trail shin angle in follow through.
Here we go. Come on, Liberty Bell. Liberty Bell, 20. Outside!
Oh my gosh. Actually, I'm well outside there.
I shouldn't be applauding your
Yeah,
your
you're my golf coach.
Yeah. Okay, so it's supposed to be between 9 and 18.
And what am I? 24. That's a big bend.
It is. And if you think about it, even sometimes when I talk about optimal ranges, yeah, it's a zone, isn't it, right? So if you think about the middle of that, you're a good 10 degrees out from the middle of it, right? So that's a lot.
You can see the pro up there. Is that Colin Morikawa?
Oh, but he's the only one who wears Adidas on the back of his shirt.
Okay.
It's got on the side. I don't know if it is, but anyway, look, you just see the 2 differences in the legs there. One's going under it, and that really affects the pelvis. Anyway, okay, so
that's another 10 points.
10, but not 20.
All right, so now
40.
40.
So
40.
2 to go.
Yeah, so you only need two outside of the optimal range. You don't even need to pick one of my top 5. So we need to see if I'm outside of the optimal range.
Where is it? Follow through.
Follow through, same.
Oh, I didn't need to redo it. Follow through. There it is. Come on, Liberty Bell.
Oh, I'm just outside of the optimal range.
So it says you're 30. You're supposed to be between 32 and 45. See, this is interesting because I like to see people in and around the high 30s.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, most good players.
Which means you bent more. Once you start to get into the low 30s, and Damon's right on 30, you're tending to get reasonably vertical. Choose Colin again there. But that's interesting. What's the little the right shoulder under drill? That's a good drill. Point is, so what's that? 10 more points?
That's 10 more points. You're sitting at 50. So you only need to get the last one inside the optimal range. Or if you miss it, you're wearing this.
What is it? Is it in top 5?
It's a spine angle. No, it's not in the top 5, but it is spine angle from face on at the top of the swing.
See what's in your top 5. Can we do that? Can we have
Yeah, we'll do that afterwards.
Okay, so what am I looking for?
Spine angle, top of the swing from front on.
Front on, top swing.
Looks
It's out!
outside the optimal range.
That can go.
Oh, the hat can go.
You're donkey, Willie.
Stay with it.
That's fantastic. So it's not fantastic. Sorry. No, you've got issues. It's 2.7 because I'm sorry getting so happy about it.
So the Morphman there is in a, you can see the tilt on the Morphman between -5 and -13.
And I think the thing about that is, yet again, you're supposed to be roughly between 5 and say at the max 13. So let's call it break even around 7 or 8 degrees. And when you're a little vertical, that starts the roadmap to having to use your legs more on the way down. And so, surely it's not the top 5. So what is in the top 5?
So the top 5, if you will, go back, take the filters off and you can see.
Number 1, halfway down hand height. See, this is fascinating to me, right? So halfway down hand height for playing along means that from where the AI is grabbing the data from, these hands are literally too high to the ground. That's got everything to do with leader.
It's a bit too much for bend.
Too much for bend. And we highlighted that as a major fault in stage 4. But it's picked it up, number 1 issue on the way down. So I was that close.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue. It also picks it up as an issue in the takeaway as well. So
what's number 2? Oh, 2 I got.
Yep.
Hip 2. Okay, here we got hip 2. What's the forward bend at the top? So you are too vertical.
I'm too vertical.
So you're too vertical probably all the way, aren't you?
I'm too, even at a dress, I'm too vertical when I was looking at this before. That is Matt Kuchar.
What do you got? 34 degrees and you're supposed to be 37. Yeah, so because I do like high 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, geez, that's...
Kuchar's got a good bend there.
Well, Cooch. And what's... Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4 hip swipe from previous position. So, yeah, so this is... I love this machine. I love it because it said hip sway at stage 3. Now, hip sway is whether your hips move laterally away, but they can move laterally ahead of where they're supposed to be as well. And that's what you've done, right? You're just outside the optimal range. Right, we're down to the last one. Hand height, top of swing. Is that the next one? Hand height at the finish. It's a fascinating one for me for the machine to pick up as you're in your top 5. Because yet again, I wouldn't straight go there, but it doesn't have an opinion. That's what I love about this thing.
Yeah, it's just driven by the data.
It's driven by the data. And in essence, what it's saying is you're just not finishing your swing.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a sawn off swing there.
Yeah, and it's giving you some ranges of where those hands, on average should finish.
And I'm too high.
We know finishes are an individual thing, but it basically flags that you're just not finishing off your swing.
You can, when you see it compared to the professional there who's in the best position, it's clear that I just haven't finished my swing.
Yeah, lots of things, isn't it? Even the leg work, you haven't stood up properly.
The reason would have stopped at that.
Yeah, well, that's right. There's a reason why that it hasn't flagged you as finishing high enough. So, fascinating. I love it. I love it because I don't have to wear the hat, but I also love it because everything that it flagged that I didn't are real concerns, and you could attack it from that angle because I'm not right, but this is right because, or more right because it's taking a clear average of optimal ranges and saying these are the big highlighted ones.
Well, I know you loved it.
I love it.
If you loved it out there, please hit the like button. Now, the next content we're going to do is rather than look at an amateur golfer, we're going to look at a professional golfer and see if we can improve their swing. Why don't we start with...
Start. We've got to start with someone good.
We've got to start with Tiger, don't we?
We've got
to start with... We're going to look at Tiger Woods in the next video and see what swing are we going to pick. His early days, his later days?
I think his early days. I don't think the machine will pick up a fault. But maybe we'll, who knows?
Maybe we'll do his swing before his injuries and after.
Yeah.
If you're interested in that, stay tuned.
Yep, beautiful. Well, I'm wrapped. I'll have to wear the hat. And
well done.
You're off to fix your hips.
I might go to the dance floor.
Adios.
Bye.